Y'all are such an awesome bunch, man. Y'all really, really are. I love y'all, man. Y'all are cool. Y'all
You
are
see why I haven't gotten certified yet? Because I was afraid that I was going to lose them. So that's why.
Keep doing this. But for those who are like really not able to meet the deadline, you can just join in on any future group coaching. You're never locked out. So
Thank you.
And I want to thank you so much, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You have
you.
been phenomenal through this whole process. I'm about to cry for real, so I'm gonna be quiet. But I
No,
love
you're gonna make me cry.
I love
I
you. I love you.
and then I'll be
Meet and
crying. We
greet.
all gonna be crying. So we can
Meet and
Oh.
greet.
Oh, thank you so much. Here I was just. Oh yeah, you making me.
I want to put it out there. So I want to thank you.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. No, I need to turn my camera off for a second. I'll be right back.
But I'm really I'm excited. I'm going to get this done. I've been utilizing everything I'm learning.
Hello. Can y'all hear me? Drop in the comments where you're watching from. Let me know you can hear me. I'm a little under the weather. Well, I don't want to say under the weather, but I had some congestion going on, but I feel much better. So if you hear me sniffling a little bit, is that my daughter gifted me. Hey, she gifted me with a nice cold germ. So she was like, Mommy, some kid in my school gave me his cold. She kept saying it like 100 times. I was like, oh no. And then I realized I had all of a sudden stuffy nose and sore throat, but I feel much better. Hello from Houston. So if y'all came over from IG, I'm sorry. Listen, IG, it really works when y'all engage. And I know a lot of people, some people like the photo, but I was having trouble with the stand, and I was like, are y'all good? Do y'all want me to whatever? And when y'all are quiet, I gotta go where engagement is. So it's no hate, it's not, well, it ain't really that personal. It's just I wanted to share this on there as well. I know some people hop between. So hey y'all. Y'all know I have a whole presentation put together, and put together, and I like to share on here. But as y'all could tell by the title, curly ends, I have, and I want to show you. The dreaded connection issue. I have Spectrum. Spectrum is garbage. I love Kev on stage and Tony and all of those. But I switched to Spectrum, and my computer is literally plugged into the modem, and it is still choppy. I'm sitting right next to it as well. So ever since I switched to Spectrum, my service has been really bad. I apologize in advance. I'm doing all that I can to make sure it's not as glitchy, but sometimes it gets glitchy. I did want to throw up some another image on this slide, but tell me, I see some of y'all saying, hey, oh, I think I saw show Trina LaSalle. Sorry, someone's late to work. No worry. Please don't be late to work. You can watch the replay on this. Please don't be late to work. But I wanted to, it's a really important image. Who tuned into the last topic I did? Was that the recap of this panel? And I was showing y'all photos of some hair and different problems that we corrected. Do y'all remember? Because my computer is the image that I wanted to pull from that. It's all right. It's okay. All right. Let me share my screen here. I was sharing it right now. Hello, another Houston, Texas. Hey, Houston is in the house. Y'all, I'm trying to share my screen for you. My computer is moving very slow. All right. So I see I got it. Yes, Spectrum is terrible. Thank you. Can y'all co-sign? Because I don't want to be sounding like I'm crazy. I know people have short patience these days. People judge people instantly these days. I'm a human being. I'm doing everything I can. Brand new computer, plugged into the modem, lighting, have my presentation ready. I can't even queue up the presentation because my computer is gone. And now the connection is going bad. And it happens to both of my computers. So it's not my computer as much as it is the connection. Spectrum is terrible. All right. I think it's going to let me present what I got right now. Okay. So let's try it. Y'all, look at the picture. Okay. Can I give you a hint as to what the path that we're going to take with this conversation just from the photo? Okay. So I don't know who knows my thoughts on that and my breakdown on it. But I'm gonna do a breakdown and then I'm gonna show you. Actually, maybe I should show y'all first. You want to see my hair? Let's see. Let me go through the slides and then I'll go ahead and show y'all. I'm gonna take this bonnet off and show y'all what's going on with my hair. But there's this thing that I've been hearing, and I did not hear it early in my career doing this and as a loctician, microloctician 15 years ago. I don't know if no one was desire. It wasn't necessarily a desire so much. It wasn't a part of the discussion until, I say, recent years. And so there are people now that come to me or other locticians and they say, I want curly ends. And so I know that there's some that's what my hair looks like straight before y'all see my curly ends. The back. Faux locks with these curly ends, they look so beautiful, right? And the thing with these is that they're temporary. So when we can get so creative with the loose curly hair. So you have like a blended like lock, loose hair look. But y'all know, I'm trying to make this a little bigger for you. I'll break it down a little bit. And I can predict that some of what I might say might not be what everybody want to hear. But it is based on permanent locking. So you have people who actually can achieve a curly end look with their own hair. And these are bigger locks. But that isn't, and I want to take note of a couple of things because y'all can remember, maybe if you've watched my past, what could also be happening here in the photo is that with her color treated ends. So when we talk about the color treated, we talk about how that actually texturizes out the curl. So even if she did not have locks and she wore her hair out or in other styles, the areas where there's color will tend to be more defined. The curls will be more defined because they're loosened up and they're texturized. So I've seen that a lot with loose naturals who have a really pretty color lifting, bleached and then a lighter color. So it's lightening, and it texturized the color. And then she has her hair locked, and it is actually a lot. I can look and see. So that for her is I can see how that can happen and occur naturally, especially because she has palm roll locks. We are working more with the curl and palm. I mean, we're always working with the curl and locks, but we are the way that her hair is locking is a slightly different process than if it were interwoven. So this is someone's post with their Microlocs with curly ends out. Now, let's the difference. There's differences and similarities with these two photos. Obviously, we see the texture is different. She has my texture, right? If we want to put it to a number system, that would be in the 4C category. That is the size of my curls as well. And I did have my hair colored before I locked it. And so and it was similar color at the ends, just like that. And she has a different sizing, obviously. So, and if she's done microlocks with the methods of interwoven lock, which ultimately most people end up doing at the roots, no matter how they start, um, she's probably going to have tighter roots and these loose ends. I'm going to pose a question to y'all. I don't know how I'm going to sound. But when people are saying they want curly ends on locks, or if you have gone that route, or if you've heard that, what would be that desired outcome you're seeking long term? Because I have a lot of slides to go through, and then I'm gonna show y'all my hair. And yes, the ends are curly. I'm not joking with that, but I want to do some preface before I get to that. And I just like to ask people that, because let's break down the definition of locking. Let's break down on this level, okay? So remember the photos I showed you, the girl with the bigger locks, and we got the faux lock, or temporary versus permanent. It's good to think about those categories when you are thinking about loose ends. Are you temporary? Go shoot for the moon, like do whatever you want, because you have way more freedom when you're doing a temporary style. You're not setting something up for long term. You're not necessarily needing to do a lot. You need to do a lot more if you were keeping something permanent. If you wanted to be strong, look a certain way, behave a certain way, year 1, year 5, year 10, however long you'd like to keep your hair in. When it comes to on this size, and when it comes to no matter what your texture is, we typically have to lock the roots differently, right? So that palm rolling is not strong and sufficient for locks on that. Her size is pretty much my size. And so we need to have a strong pattern. And so when you are getting your hair locked, I had to go through this. So it pissed me off. So I might piss some people off. They're going to click off. They might be like, what is she talking about? But I have to break down the psychology of it. I did not fully accept my hair texture. I can't change my DNA to make my DNA be something other than what it is. And also I have to understand that if I'm getting my hair locked, it is going to work with my curl pattern. It is going to be my curl pattern. We can vary sizes, but what does locked hair mean for me? If I'm not fully committed or understanding of locked hair, then maybe I need to get some temporary styles that are not locked, right? That are going to stay in long term. So, excuse me. Hi from South Elgin. And so that I don't know how I was going to approach this. I didn't even do my intro. I did nothing. I just jumped right into this. But it's all right because I know it's IYKYK. So, what's your long-term goal? What's your short-term goal? Right. Let's go through what's behind here. Oh yeah, I was showing my hair before I show y'all my curly ends. What my ends look like in this photo, what my hair looks like. It is straight all the way down. All right. And then we're going to show you, but some people's hair is naturally curly. But I want to show y'all something. we are not compromising the integrity and structure of the lock by leaving hair out. Her hair, this is an install for like within the first few months. Her hair naturally curls like this. My hair is not this loose of a curl, so my install look different. Everyone's gonna look different. And so what her pictures look like, that was her first retightening, but it's very shiny, very curly. Do I have another photo? That's another girl. Another not too far from install photo, maybe first retightening, very curly. But as their hair locks, oh, that's another person, install photo, very curly, hair all pulled into the lock. Nothing is left out. That's just naturally what her hair does. Then down the line, people's hair fattens and thickens up, depending on the size that we intended, depending on a few factors. It won't stay that way forever. It's usually will lose its shine, lose its luster, and become locked, which I think is beautiful. I think locked hair is beautiful. My end revert back to curls. Yes. Okay. And refine the train the curl to comply. Right. So remember we mentioned controlling chaos, harnessing in. What the hair wants to do naturally. We don't fight it, we coax it, we guide it, we help it into the lock because ultimately the hair is going to be locked. Oh, that's just me showing some curls, but the hair is going to ultimately be locked. So I want us to remember this as we continue this discussion, right? Thank you for sharing, Facebook user. So that's also when I mentioned when we are looking at people's textures and we are looking at when we're doing an install, we know what areas we're going to need to pay attention to make sure that we are keeping it a strong foundation. So right off the bat, can y'all think about what my opinion would be before I do this reveal of my hair? My opinion would be about intentionally leaving hair out because it's curly versus it's in a pattern, but it curls back up naturally. But the foundation and base of the lock is still strong because ultimately the goal long term is to have locks. Short term, if it's a short term style, then everything I say is not going to make sense. Like you're going to take it out anyway. Do whatever you want. Put things all in your hair, curl it. But if you're trying to set it up so that you can have it continuously look more beautiful, be more strong as it evolves, because it will evolve, then we're talking about fundamental foundational things for locks. Remember, locks are matted hair matted together. When you give it a pattern at this size, excuse me, y'all, I am recovering from a little bit of cold, so my nose is running a little bit. Sorry about that. The fundamental strength of a lock. When I hear things like, I like that curly end look, and it's somebody that has locks for years, that's also okay. So can you define what you mean by that? Do you want your hair to be combed out of the lock and curled? And then also, what are you ready to do a bunch more work? Like, are you ready to have it? I'm not sure I'm understanding. So then we say, if you like a curly look, you can get a curly look. But what does that mean? Can we break that down? That's why I said my conversation might piss people off, because I know when I was transitioning to natural alone, I had a whole breakdown, and I'm going to Columbia University School of Social Work to get a master's in social work and mental health. And I was having a crisis about my identity. I had never seen my hair texture. I was trying to make my hair do what it wasn't supposed to do. I had issues with my DNA. You cannot change your DNA. Well, I don't know. It's a theory, but I'm pretty certain our DNAs are pretty much locked in determining our hair texture and how it's going to evolve. So if you're going to something like the lock realm, no matter how it has evolved and changed through the years, if you're locking your hair, you're locking your hair. Locking process is something that happens by nature. Even if you never did anything, you did freeform, your hair is going to mat together. We are providing a structure for it to mat within so that it is strong and can sustain itself on this size. And so if there's hair left out, intentionally or even accidentally, we are targeting in on that because we know the problems that end up coming with tangled ends, with unraveling up the length of the lock, with hair, it was tangled and matting together with big bulby ends. Excuse me, that might interfere with how you're styling or your look. And so that's why these next few slides, y'all, I love curls and spiral. That's been one of my things I love to do for my own hair. Constantly love the curl and spiral, many different sizes. I love it. I love to play with it. That's one of the beautiful things that I love. Going the wrong way. That I love about getting these locks. Why is it got me going that way? And for many, many years, through Naturally Beautiful Hair Care, I've been doing these sets on myself and other people using various means like rods and pipe cleaners. And I have like, there's a few ways you can achieve a different look. This was like 2012 hair show. We did tiny pipe cleaner pin set. That was one of the things I used to love to do. And so I was like, well, if I can achieve curls this way, why would I want to take my hair out of this foundation, leave it loose? It's not even that texture. I'll have afro puffs at the end of my hair. And I love that my hair is locked because I can create curls in the width and diameter that I would love, that I could naturally do with just my own hair texture. These are some extensions. So I love the spirals. I wanted to make sure our extensions were soft and natural and could achieve spirals and curls and behave just like regular hair. So I always ask people, or I tend to ask people that ask this kind of question: how long have you had, or do you plan to have your locks? Because I know that there's some people tell me that there's people that are now making video. People can make videos on anything. Please don't take everything you see on YouTube as something that is recommended to do or that makes sense. It's someone charting their journey, and maybe they have a platform that maybe they want to look like they're telling you what to do or not. But there are people that are like, this is how I take care of my curly ends. And I know people have told me, because I'll get annoyed watching it, but doing a whole different process of conditioning and detangling out ends for a look, that is the complete contradiction to what is happening at the roots with locks for a permanent style. I just want y'all to break that down. And like I said, I get people mad. I understand. Y'all know my background also as a licensed therapist, social worker. I analyzed it for myself too. Like, I broke down even looking at my own natural hair texture. So I know many people are going through similar things even in the lock realm. It's still something that I work hard on accepting about myself. And if I wanted this hairstyle, I wanted it done right, because I knew that I had a little hair business on the side, and I was thinking I wanted to incorporate these locks, but I wanted my hair to be right first. And I said I want the very best that I can get. And I think that I'm not judging people, because if there was like YouTube and stuff out when I started my locks, I think I might have been maybe had a different trajectory. I don't know, but I also valued solid information and training. So I don't know what direction I would have taken, but I'm hoping that by at least giving people some information about the problems that people have experienced and about some fundamentals in locking on this size, that it'll be helpful in helping people decipher and guide them. If not, you take it or leave it. That's what I always say. There's nothing to get. I don't want to make people feel emotional or judged. I just want to be honest. And a lot of these conversations go a little bit deeper, but I don't need to go that deep, but I'm going to go a little bit. So how long do you plan to have them? Right? So number one, is your hair texture even a texture you're thinking of when you're thinking of curly ends? Number two, do you really truly want locks? Right? So maybe you pass that. Yeah, my hair texture is that texture. And yes, I want locks and I'm prepared to do this. Okay, so let's say you said all of that, right? What do you consider long term? 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, a lifetime. I have a lock quiz. It's lockquiz.com that has gone out to thousands and thousands of people have taken this quiz already, and they've kind of answered questions, and they get this, what the best type of lock is for them. And a large majority of people said that they would want and desire their locks to be in their hair for a lifetime or until they get tired of them. So they're in for the long haul. And so I'm going on 16 years. I know a lot of people going on longer. And could you imagine doing that routine? Detangling out ends, doing 2 separate routines, hoping it doesn't keep going up the lock, and now you got more, undoing your locks for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years. I got locks, and y'all tell me in the comments. Oh yeah, thank you, Nicole. I got locks because I didn't want to have to do. I was tired of my 4C hair wasn't growing. I had the same length for 4 years. I was like, my hair's been natural for 4 years. I'm tired of twisting my hair up every 2 seconds. I'm tired of doing these conditioning days. I was tired of it. And I said, if I'm going to get locks, I want them to look really great so that I can mimic these other styles that I could do when my hair was permed without the perm and embracing my natural curl. So this is such a sweet spot for that. So when you fully fall into it and you say, I want my hair to be the best it can be, because I do still like curls. I like straight. I like styling. I like nothing. and and so I want to be able to do that with flexibility, or just wake up and go like that. That's the liberation. A lot of women say this was the best decision for them when they get it done well. So that's why I like to break this down a little bit. And I think it would be doing a disservice to Black women that I say I want to help the hair services or hair skills for me to step into. I'm gonna be blunt, to step into a fantasy world. Your hair texture and DNA is not going to change. Y'all, I was going off yesterday by myself. I was like, I gotta go live tomorrow. I had more energy, and I was just like, gonna play and joke with y'all and be like, yeah, I changed my hair texture. I'm now biracial. Look at my curly ends. And it was just like, I told you at the hair show in LA, not my business, a Sister Locks business, doing a hair show, and there was a person there. I didn't take a photo. I'm not trying to, but she had this much hair out, and the curly ends. And I was like, ooh, I know them DIY loving that. Or not DIY, people who maybe not don't have all the fundamentals of the locking process fully will love that, because that looks like faux locks. But it was a permanent, and they said her hair was only like 3 to 6 months, so she was still new. So that's why it looked like that too. I was like, oh, okay. That'd be interesting to see down the line. And are they going to be able to care for it? And is she desiring to keep it out like that? So that is random throwing a picture. Remember, y'all keep talking about a person that had perm and she wanted to lock her hair, and she had a job and she needed to be in front of people, but she didn't want to cut off her permed hair. This is the old, okay? So y'all could, whatever. I did some old school, but Rod said her hair is locked. Her ends are loose and they are curled. But the goal, I'll make it bigger for y'all. The goal was to cut them off. And so this was a temporary solution for a permanent hairstyle. You can't, if you can see here, you see that that's all locked. I stopped, hard stop, where her perm hair met her natural hair. And that is where we left it, because we have to do two separate processes or maintenance routines for her hair. We want to nurture and accelerate her natural virgin hair growing out of her scalp that is in this locking pattern. And we also want to take care of that perm hair as we cut it down, so that it can be, it can look still healthy, and give her this look as we cut it down. Each session we cut it down, we cut it down, we cut it down. And then I was very pregnant in this behind the scenes, and so I ended up going on like a maternity leave, and she then transferred to someone else, and she's given me she gave me updates a few years ago, but her hair is very long and very beautiful and very uniformly locked. She went transferred over to someone, but we had to make sure we approached this properly. So she had curls that were temporary for a long-term solution. So if there is a goal at the end goal for doing it, that makes sense. I'm gonna show y'all my hair in a second. I think it came out kind of cute. But y'all know this is the picture I keep showing because I don't want to keep combing for more. People will send me pictures. That's fine. I'm not intentionally looking for pictures of like puffy ends and stuff. I already have my own that I showed y'all before that I was trying to pull up on here. Skinny, 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 loose, all his hair matted together that we had to separate out, all coming loose. This is just someone that I feel like has progressed a little past that stage, and it's just very puffy ends and hair that is color treated, was very curly. And then this is not my client. This is I pulled from somewhere else, someone else's client. And so you know, everything temporarily doesn't last permanently. It doesn't have long-term goals sometimes that you may desire. So you want to know if, again, temporary versus permanent um, definition of locking, their DNA, you can't change. So that's gonna be that's a harder combo that I had to do with myself. I'm still doing it with myself. I'm still doing it with myself. I'm not gonna lie. I had a really hard time because I had come from the world of perm and I went to natural. I had a hard time. I went to Miss Rest in peace to this one of the Miss Jessie sisters. That they both did my hair, gave me that silkener so that I can have these curls, these defined curls on my natural hair. And I watched my hair go down the drain with each consecutive wash I did. I was just not accepting of my hair. I wanted it to look like they're Japanese and black, and so I had to make peace with that. I knew what it was, but I didn't want to hear it. And then my boyfriend at the time was like, I don't want to see you wear a wig or weave. And I got mad. I was like, how you gonna tell me what to do with my hair? So that's why I kind of approach cautiously, because I know women, a lot of us are in spaces like that where we think people are telling us what to do. I want curly ends and I want curly, and it's like, okay, fine. But I'm saying it more to put into context what that really means for those and open up the discussion about why, because that's not something that typically has been a part of creating strong locks at this size, any size, but at this size. I can see it on the bigger locks a little bit more if it's some what someone's hair does naturally. And I can see it on Caucasian hair, although their hair tends to be straight. Um, there are Caucasian, half their hair actually, they may have their curls blended in with their locks. So I see a lot of that in Caucasian or curly hair people, and I think that's really beautiful looking. But we are now going to take her off. I ain't take her off, girl. Bye. All right. So what I did was I said, let me experiment. Y'all are really quiet. Hold on. Drop a like if you like this. Leave a comment. Share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, please, because I looked at my analytics the other day. Whoa, 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 whoa. YouTube was like, your channel is growing now. I restored my channel from the depths of death because it was basically a dead channel that was big and then dead and then so I know the analytics don't match the likes. And I had to speak on that because I said when it on an energetic level, if something's giving you value and you like it, help a sister out. It's like because that opens up the energy for you also to receive. It's a give and take. I do that scroll and I'm like, I don't want to like. Why? Because that makes me feel jealous. No, I like it. And then I say, just keep it moving. What's the purpose? A like is free. If you don't want to like, that's fine. I just wanted to mention that because I'm like, I had to maybe say it because I didn't want to be one of those people that say it. Like, let people subscribe, let people like if they like. But I really feel like I need to say it because none of my behind the scene analytics match what is on the outside. Even on IG, I had to cut off IG. I was like, IG, y'all play. Y'all save my stuff behind the scenes. Y'all like my stuff. Y'all tell me y'all see when I see y'all in person. But the engagement is what makes me know that this information is helpful and it makes me want to do it more and to give y'all more gems and more gems. So thank you for you to like. Um, yeah, that's one thing I wanted to say. Yeah, so I didn't do my little intro like I always do about who I am. You know, I'm procrastinating because I want to make sure y'all tuned in and y'all gonna like this before I show y'all my hair. Maybe I see only 2 likes on my screen. It could be different from like I don't know if YouTube. How do y'all do it? Yeah, y'all like on YouTube. So if I see 5, I'm sure I'm gonna I'm gonna whew, show it. Show y'all what and tell y'all what I did. You can tell me if you like it or not. I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. Okay. But again, I'll introduce myself for those who are new to, if you're watching on YouTube, you're new to my channel because I seem to be growing every 30 days. I'm like 100 something people every 30 days. So y'all, it would be great if y'all liked it. I'm Jessica. I am founder of Microloc Mastery and Naturally Beautiful Hair Care. I'm a licensed therapist as well, and I founded Microlocs to address the needed innovations and upgrades to small micro-sized locks. I teach the tools, systems, and methods that give the best results, and I train on a solid foundation of knowledge, not confinement to products or tools that don't work, so that you can be a highly educated, knowledgeable professional providing effective and high quality solutions. I also was an academia faculty, teaching assistant, and advisor at Columbia University, and I infused my knowledge of curriculum and instruction into my online training program. Okay. I don't see no more likes. Like. What's going on Facebook? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on with these likes? Let me take a sip real quick. Maybe a couple more likes will come. Okay, I think I see y'all on. Y'all are in a group. YouTube. Upgrade. Upgrade. Knowledge. Upgrade everything. Do not get confused and sidetracked by what you see with a lot of fluff and glitz and glamour, but the results don't look like what you want long term. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do this reveal. Let me sit back. Okay. What I did was probably look ridiculous and crazy, but I don't believe in doing curly ends by taking it out. What I did was I curled each and every one of these locks ends. Hold up. Let me fix it better. I like my hair straight or all curled. I don't necessarily do the curly thing, but I wanted to do it for today's topic. Y'all will never see me just curl my ends like this. And so what I did was say, what is the look that people are going for? Because if I comb my ends and my hair out, look at it, it's all tangled as it is, right? And I left it. And then if my hair texture was like that, what would be, can y'all see? What would be how it looks? I can't quite. So the natural layers in my hair. So I just took a little tiny pipe cleaner thing and curled it. I don't know. We are not saying nothing. It don't look like nothing, right? Why would we compromise the foundation of our locks to get something that don't really look like it don't really look like nothing? It just looks like it would be better to have your hair in a really great condition as opposed to jeopardizing the structure to have. This would irritate me. This at the bottom would be thank you, would be irritating for me, but it doesn't serve a purpose. It's basically the I'm sorry, getting messages coming in. The purpose of me intentionally leaving hair out at my ends, right? So y'all not saying anything. So I guess it looks like nothing, right? I guess it looks like nothing. No, nothing to write home about. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I can't see. And then I showed y'all. Or sometimes I leave a little bit of the front. That's why I like to show you the back because my front of my hair is shorter than the back. Oh, y'all see? Can y'all see? And I don't know. Hello. So that is basically, in a nutshell, right? The getting to the why, the why of what we ask for. The why, I believe we need a lot more knowledge and education on block structure at this size, and why adding on to what the foundation, again, I say was laid by Sister Locks. There's a lot that can be added and enhanced. And when we are seeking something and we don't see real, true long-term photos, or we see curated images, sometimes, okay, I don't want to go this deep, but when it comes to things for advertising for Black women, many people know, well, anybody, you play on a psychology. What is it that they desire? For any business person knows this, and if you are psychology and business together, what do people desire? What is it they wish to be? What is it that they seek? And if you know that advertising since day one, like we used to have the skin lightening, so they would put like these half white and Black women on stuff, or they would put images that they think that would make a trigger psychologically in us that would say that's what I want. So if I say I want my hair locked, but I'm not really fully committed, or I don't maybe understand it, or if it's like a different texture. That's why I ask y'all questions. Like, is that the texture of your hair? And you're desiring to leave that out? Or are you looking for, oh, I ain't want to throw nobody under the bus. But the person that hosted the panel, the lock event that I was on with Sister Locks, I was looking at her hair. Let me see if I can pull this picture up. And I was like, oh, she didn't get a chance to do her hair before. I'm not saying her name. I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. I'm being honest. If you're in hair, you will look at other people's hair. And I thought that she had braids in and that she did not take them out in time or something. And I was just like, okay. Because I was a little confused. My brain was trying to figure out what I was looking at, because it was like roots that look like locks. And then it was this straight hair and it was curly. Big curls. And so I was like, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I heard some I heard some other women talking, and they said, talking about the person that hosted the panel. And they said, did you see so-and-so's hair? It looked terrible. I don't know what she did to her locks. And I said, oh, that was locks. And they're like, I was like, oh, and they said I don't understand why people are doing these things to their hair, because her locks used to be so beautiful. And that's when I said, what do you mean? I said she had like curly stuff on the ends. I was like, oh, she has curly ends. So she added extension hair to it. But it was, let me see if I can pull up a picture without, let me make it bigger. You probably can't really see it in this one. Let me just zoom in. Yeah. I don't really want to throw her under the bus. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be negative. But it was a conversation. People could notice when her locks, I guess, were already there and established. She added a long extension hair to create curly ends. Not only is there texture differences, but it does look like she has a styling for too long and that she needed to take it out and redo it. And it didn't blend well with her locked hair. And it just kind of, she's so gorgeous and she's beautiful. I don't want to show her a picture, because if I could have the back of her hair, then I would do it, but I don't want to show her face. And so it's waist length, and they're like bigger size locks, maybe about the size of a pencil. And then it looked like braided on or something. So it reminds me of just getting the wet and wavy hair with this much root. So yeah. Yeah. So it definitely, yes, y'all are very, very quiet. Very, 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 very quiet. Did I y'all clicked off already because were you upset? Is anybody upset? I'm sorry, y'all hate me now because I said that I don't believe in combing out hair at the ends of the lock or leaving a lot of hair out the ends of the lock, and y'all expected me to show y'all something. Um there's a point I wanted to make about what y'all want to see versus what you may need to see. Um what wasn't working? Oh, you mean the ends of. Oh, just for those who are tuning in, I don't. This is what I mean by my curl. I curls my ends of my lock. All my hair is in. I don't believe in loose locks at the end. I mean, loose hair at the end of the lock for the lock structural integrity and strength. I feel like you can achieve a lot of desired. You can achieve a lot of desired looks, temporary or permanently, but you gotta decipher between which ones it is. Hold on, I'm gonna show that one. I'm gonna show. I'll just go back. And so that is one of my favorites is doing a spiral. Like when I was showing this picture, I just really could not understand what the intention was going to be. What the intention was going to be with microlocks or curly ends like that. All I saw was, ooh, repair work. That's going in with her because she has 4C hair. It's going to lock really nicely if she had a really great foundation. My hair is 4C. Our hair tends to lock really well. And even if it's color treated, we just go in and we close that. So I don't the purpose of leaving that out didn't make sense to me. Besides, you just want to have puffy fat ends. Please, y'all, consider thinking about this once or twice if this is something that you are going to do or thinking about doing or needed information on before you went to do something, do this. And even if your hair is looser, even more so if it's looser, curl, but she will have her hair lock in probably very nicely at the roots. And then you get to the bottom, it's at least I'll say at least double this size, but it's safe to say it's going to be about almost 3 times as far as the width, the size. And then she leaves it like that, or the loctician, whoever is doing it, is not smooth, condensing it in, pulling it in, tightening it in to the lock body of the whole body of the lock to make it consistent with what is growing out of her scalp that's being locked. She will guarantee have fatter ends. Now, maybe she'll cut them off one day, or maybe they'll whatever. But in the meantime, why go through a beautiful process and journey already off with your hair not in a pattern fully? It looks like she maybe doesn't even have it in. It's just curled. It's just her own natural curl. On a small micro level, we have to rethink what we are doing. We have to have a solid foundation and understanding of the locking process. We have to understand what it is we're seeking, and not everything we think is going to take us to this permanent process, evolve, this evolution of how our hair is going to lock in its structure is not going to. It's not sometimes what we think it is without having all the knowledge base in there to say this is what hair does. It's great to think on a temporary scale what it would look like, because we get very creative. If we're going to keep hair in for 3 months or less, yeah, I'll get creative with hair texture. I could do anything because I have to take it out eventually and go back to my DNA. I can't leave it in unless you do. You have a wig. You're going to cover your hair entirely. Your hair is going to come through, and it's going to be a battle of what you're doing to it to guide it, compress it, and have it. How is it going to expand in this pattern? How is it going to be strong in this pattern? Is it going to be consistent? All these things matter. Oh Lord. You have a lot of comments. Oh, you're here. The extensions at the end. Yeah. The extensions at the end, temporary, cool. Like Hallie and Chloe, they're doing all types of cool, fun things with extensions, temporary. Take them things out, y'all. They're not going to look like your hair, unless it's exactly like your hair. Even then, your hair is in a whole different pattern. Most likely, it's not going to look the same. You're going to look like you have old extensions in, and people psychologically gonna be saying she's gonna take that out soon. She's gonna take it out soon. It look old. It looks old. I don't care how much shine and gloss and product things you gunk on it. The best thing to do is, I mean, unless the process, I'm talking about, because there's extension processes that can mimic your hair and that can work with it. But I've seen even a hair, and I was trying to pull those ads for y'all. Maybe I'll find it. I don't know. And it was this hair company showing their hair, this curly hair, and they're playing on the psychology. You know, when everybody sees a grid, automatically it's either, you know, sister locks, micro locks, you know. So they're showing a grid and somebody putting in this hair with this two strand twist. And then I'm like, so you're already getting that audience that's already conditioned to see that grid and think what they think. And then they're saying, so I did, like, one of the ads was saying mini twist or micro twist. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm glad they didn't say that it was anything other than that. But then I noticed it looked like the person was either trying to lock it at the root, but then the comments, I'm gonna interlock that at the root. Mind you, I don't know this woman's hair texture naturally. I don't know, but it sounded like it was like, oh yeah, what our brain thinks makes sense doesn't always make sense in reality. We have great ideas, but then when in reality, your hair tech, it doesn't even really honestly matter what your hair texture is. It's probably not gonna be a seamless transition with this fake added hair. And then so there's another girl that was had DIY microlocs. She said DIY microlock extensions or something she was doing, and she was latch hooking it through and then braiding it and then twisting it. That she had the whole head, and I was like, so background on me, I had more than enough microlock extension rehab jobs that I've had to clean up with similar things. That hair turned into um bird's nest. Why, you know, think of like a those wig. My daughter had this cheap wig she had for Halloween, a witch's wig. It's all matted up, but that looks so much like what was happening in some people's hair. Even though their hair may have been human hair, I don't know what kind of quality hair, but it would be a big matted mess. Then their hair texture coming out dry and, you know, whatever the texture was, but usually it'd be like a tighter curl than what the extension hair was. And then it wasn't even anchored properly. And then it didn't match the size that it was growing out of the scalp. And then it was just problem after problem after problem. And people were like, this is terrible. Like, I said, because it probably would have been really nice as a temporary style. But then as your hair is locked, like, it's not something you could just interlock in. I think that's going to be seamless. That was some of the problems that I saw. It just looked like synthetic, like a nest. Like, yeah, this is already giving me problems just because I did the little curls at the end. It's just already like kind of bunching, and I keep having to do that. It's not something that I would say. Yeah, I'm not a fan of leaving lots of hair out. Fixing it is a mess. The puffy ends. No, it's subjective. If somebody wants that, but I would be a little bit more critical of a professional, because it's like, well, foundationally, why did you do that? So not what everybody wants is everything. You should be like, yes, I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. Yeah, you want all your hair out? Yes. $600. Give it to me. Give it to me. It's like, no, let's talk about why you want that. Let's talk about what you're looking for, and let's really get you a foundation. Those are the kind of conversations. If that person is like, I want my hair out, but let somebody else do that, and be able to support them through the problems and deal with them sitting in a chair extra time to fix it, or going through the process. Because now you're trying to, even if, okay, your hair is all the same texture and you want the loose hair out and you're trying to lock the certain part of it, and you're doing these things separately here, are you I don't know how many locks you'll have, but are you really committed to making sure none of that gets on the rest of the hair? So as it's growing, right, you have it all different, it's coming down here now, and now you have this whole different process you're doing, which is like, well, why did you get locks? Okay, no, we got this whole different process. And then, oh, we got caught out in a rainstorm. Oh, Your deep condition is like, look at those fluffy, puffy. Now it's just looking crazy. Okay, nah, man, I gotta go get my gel, and then it's just a lot of a lot of things that I think don't make much sense in the long run for what you want. I'm trying to be nice because then it hurts when the retight. Then you're pulling those fat heart. Glorious locks, those fat ends through the little hole. And what's happening is some people, no matter the tool, because I talk about tool types, no matter the tool, it has to go through. And so there's people really fast, and they're pulling it, it's catching. Because what happens in a lot of those loose kind of puffy ends is there's nooks and crannies that don't exist when a lock is well done and straight. There's a hook here, there's a crook there, and that catches. So we may go in that one rotation that way, but then we going in that way, and now it's catching and it's ripping a hair out. And you're already, if you're on a small scale, you already no, you don't. Every strand is valuable. We don't want to keep losing and popping out the strands because ultimately we're making it weaker. Then this is what people have been noticing: skinnier because they got less hair, and so now that it's skinny, and then and it gets fatter, and then it gets to the bulbous part. So and it could possibly even be thinning out the base permanently. So you can't even try to pull that hair and it's not going to stay in. There's a lot of issue. And we've corrected. And it's just like, it would just been so much better had they not done that way. Can you achieve what you're looking to achieve in a way that's conducive to your hair locking? People don't think what they want as the end result. A lot of it is not knowing. So I don't want to judge people. But also I think that some things we know, but I think we forget. Flashback 1990s, micro braids, Senegalese twist, goddess braids, all those things, Janet Jackson braids, right? But what do we know? Take those braids out by the third month, leave it in longer than 3 months. You're going to have your hair start to lock and you're going to lose hair. It's going to be hard to get it out. And it's probably not going to look good. It's probably going to look a little bad now because you got a whole bunch of overgrowth. But some people thinking now, it's like we forgot, I'm going to interlock those roots. Do you know what interlock hair looks? Interlock hair is ultimately a lock. It's ultimately matted hair. There's no shine. It's not going to match the pattern of your braid. It's not going to even probably be the same size as the braid. So there's just a lot of yeah, girl, I see your comment and I'm not going to click it, but I can see what you just said, Frida. I don't even give energy to that because people will see, if they aren't already seeing, people will see the results. I have a gift that a lot of people do of intuitiveness. We can kind of see, we feel, we know, and I think it'll sizzle out. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people that have had experiences that they wish they didn't have, that they wish that they could have got a better quality experience. And so this is why I speak and why you speak and why Glorious Locks and other people who have been through repairing and fixing these issues are speaking. Whether people want to hear it at that time or not, it's cool. Even with my process, there's certain things I didn't want to hear, even little silly things now that I'm like, why was I mad? Like don't use product, don't use edge. I was like, I can't use edge control. So I went in with hard headed and put let's jam on my edges and have my edges sit there and be a hard rock, because it was embedded inside my locks because I couldn't deal with naps. I was like, I'm not fully in this. And it's okay to not be 100% into the lock process, but to be open-minded and understanding what the process entails. That's why I also try to tell people about the locking stages that your hair may potentially go through. And disclaimer, those locking stages are geared towards our interwoven lock technique. And so it will be different for braids and twists, which is why I don't recommend it. It might be a whole different process. Maybe somebody else will speak on that, but I don't think that's the ideal method. So I do the locking stages on the ideal method because it'll take you through a nice seamless process. Hopefully that you'll start to notice from month 3 to 6 to a year to 2 to 3, because you're still locking progressively, going through different stages. Even at the 15, almost 16-year mark, you go through different stages. So if you can anticipate that possibly I might experience this, And I think it's good with technology has been helpful if it's used in that way, like for people to say, oh, okay, other people have been experiencing this with my similar hair texture, my similar hair density, etc. So maybe I can breathe a little more calm that I'm not doing something wrong, or, where it becomes confusing and potentially work against the results is where, um, y'all, let me tell you the 7 ways to start Microloc. And they're telling you ways that'll go against the foundation for this side. I've seen it. So many people now doing it. I'm just like, I really hope that people use a discerning eye or really hear a variety of experiences that will have people start to connect with that makes sense. If you have a small knowledge base of hair, if you have small knowledge base of natural hair and you understand the process of hair, you can like start to put it together. Don't get confused by flashiness, likes, and views, because there's a lot of things that people want to hear. So they'll click. I want to hear how you can do that because I want to do that too. But it doesn't mean that that information is going to be ultimately helpful for the long-term results. You're right. Then this is where the professional educating the clients about the pros and cons. Yes. And also professionals saying not every client is for you, and you want clients that honor and respect your judgment and the process. Those are the best clients. They're open and receptive to your expertise. Some people don't have time to be playing on YouTube. And so they're like, I am glad that you're educating me on this. And it come in like clean slate and they go through the process really well. But some people have a variety of knowledge bases, and sometimes the knowledge information they received is contradictory or not necessarily correct. But it could be, one of their favorite YouTubers who has probably a result that's unique to them and a process that's unique to them, but that doesn't make it a fundamental that would stand in a handbook of standards. It is an individual's experience. Yeah. So, yep, I ain't changed my DNA. I'm still 100% African American, 4C black from the continent. I was going to be like, I was gonna joke and be like, yo, I changed my DNA. Oh, my hair just got a whole different texture. And, and I was like, that's gonna probably be really stupid. So yeah. I love the loose curls. I couldn't do loose curls on my natural 4C hair without straightening the hell out of it. But the locks straighten it in a sense. And then I can do those loose kind of curls. I can do anything. And it gets wet, it just goes back to straight. Get my leave hair out. You put all that product in at the end, get that wet, wash that out. What do you have? Afro. What do you have when you have your hair loose? An afro at the ends of locks. So, what are your thoughts on color before the year mark, especially when speaking in relation to these at the end? So I used to say the 6-month mark would be kind of the loose marker for when you can start the color after an install. But I've come to find that I wouldn't have recommended. Most people thankfully are not pressed about coloring their hair when they get to that 6-month mark. And if we do talk about color, we're talking about depositing a gray cover, which is seems to be a much safer, usually less disruptive process. But when it comes to lifting and bleaching and all these different things, I'm gonna move that mark from 6 months because it just has to be done so well as someone who's really knowledgeable about this process. Because there are people that are knowledgeable about coloring and even coloring locks, but when it comes to this, really small and fragile. So I know someone that went to someone before the 6-month mark because she had gray, she got it colored red, all red, but I told her to tell him, this is in New York, to don't use all of the conditioning, like your hair is still locking. If you can find a way to not disrupt your locks too much. I don't even know why I gave the clearance for that, but she had already started the color before she got it installed and she had white roots. She comes back and it's like all straight and it's like loose. And she said, I told him, but he said, I know what I'm doing. Like he was kind of like maybe didn't want to hear a client tell them what to do. But I said, this is not just loose hair. This is a specific process you're going through. So I haven't really seen with major coloring like a benefit. I think people are best to wait. Even people who have older locks and they do a lot of bleaching, and I see it permanently change their hair down the line. I've seen locticians get their hair and they, you see the color. I'm like, oh, her hair is light now. And then she colored it black all of a sudden, and the locks are puffier and they look different. So it doesn't look as maybe what it was. And I keep contemplating me coloring my hair, and a part of me is saying, no, even at 15 years. So my opinion on those to these ends, to these ends, a lot of the times that color it snaps off. Comment in if you've had that experience. You're like, where's my color? I'm not cutting my hair. Where's my color? It just pops off. It shed. Our hair sheds. It sheds differently though. It sheds from a central. It shed, or unless you're thinning, it shed from the root. It shouldn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just faded off. It just came off. And by that year number, I don't know, 3 or something, I had no more color. When I started, my hair looked like hers. So what that said to me was also my hair is drier at the ends and it snaps off. My locks were done well. My hair was growing out my scalp well. My routine was well, but that dried, colored hair dried and shriveled the hell up and fell off. If she want to keep it out like that, it'll just accelerate for her. Oh, thank you so much, Glorious. I'm gonna check your page out. I typically run 1 year. I think 1 year is a good marker or later. Yeah. And then do you do the coloring? Because it'd be great for the person to know how to color that's actually doing the maintenance routine. That's like a win-win. If you know how to do it really well, you can help guide them through. You know what to do. Yeah, the colors come off. Colors come off. Ends on any curl pattern get the least amount of oil. Now, when you have it locked, it's not getting anywhere. When it's loose, it's not traveling all the way down. That's a kind of a fact if you study hair, curl types, curl patterns, which is why typically, we are putting oils on our hair. We know white people are, their oil is all over and it goes all the way down the shaft. So with us knowing that and us knowing the ends are actually quite vulnerable for us, and leaving them out of a locking pattern even makes them even more vulnerable, because in the locking pattern, that they make that little ball, they come off, but they're actually intertwined together and strengthened more than what they would be out. So you really are leaving them vulnerable at that point. And my guess, because I'm not really looking to see, I haven't seen any long term, but my guess is that those ends will shrivel or dry off and break off. And people are doing that. So you're going to comb out more, or you're going to add more hair, like, until we stop and say, why am I doing this? Do I really want locks? Or I'm not knocking temporary photo shoots, temporary looks. Do your thing. As long as it's not disrupting your locking process. Do your thing. I'm talking about long term, and what that shows other people. What message are you sending? Like, if you have a platform and you're like, curly and lock, like, are you an educator, or you're probably not? So you're just doing it. You're showcasing your experience. People, but what's not connecting is the educational piece on like when that really is appropriate and what that really looks like long term, versus I'm gonna go ahead and do something with my ends of my hair that's just gonna be for now. Like, it's just a lot. Listen, I don't. You stay in your lane. I stay in my lane. Stay in your lane. I refer out to color as well. And it's really hard to find people that specialize in colors for, I can't even say micro, can't even interwoven small micro size locks or sister locks. It's hard to find people that specialize in that. And I think that we are a niche of a market that would benefit from someone that specializes in that. Yeah. Yeah. We are in need of a lot of foundational solid education. And all I could do is continue to share. We can share our experiences fixing things. My background is different from yours. My background again is I pick it out mentally. I do, because I went through a whole mental break. The hair is not just hair. It never was just hair for us. So a lot of information, a lot of things I say, it goes deep, because at the end, if you have really great results and a really great process, you see how you'll feel. Like, or if you really have some realistic expectations, there's less disappointment, there's less problem, and there's a less money wasted on trying to fix it. And some people now won't even fix people's hair. A lot of people say like she can't find somebody to fix stuff. People are like, no. And I've heard people in all lanes of natural hair and locks say that. So I just tell people it can be more problems that you don't even know when there isn't an understanding and thought put into why we are doing things. Oop. Uh-oh. Shoot. Oh. Shoot. What did I just do, y'all? Hold on. I'm sorry. I clicked off my screen. I thought that I shut off the stream, y'all. I've had to turn people away because I have seen too many transfer clients with issues with these loose ends. You and a lot of people. I don't want people to be stuck. I feel sad. I'm sorry. I feel sad because I feel like when I thought about that person I was telling you, and I was going to show the picture and I decided not to. Just her spirit seemed so nice. And it just seemed like there's people that are just really good people, and they go with ideas. All they need is someone who cares about them to say, oh, let me give you my advice from a pro, and then you can take it or leave it. But I won't do X, Y, and Z, but I will do this, and like some people trust people to like give them that and or at least help them. And I just felt kind of bad because I could kind of see what the look she was going for, but I didn't like that people were talking about her either. And it was sad to hear that too, because and it's all I thought was this fad. Is it a fad? The curly ends are a fad. They're gonna die out when people realize this is for long-term hair, not short-term. And then we gotta cut them out. We gotta figure, well, hopefully you can cut them out if it's added hair. But if it's your own hair, now you gotta find somebody that's gonna be able to put it back in a lock, or you can cut that, but you'll lose length. Is that what you're ready for? I'm gonna start winding this down. I appreciate your information. I'm grateful for my clients sent me a link. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you to your clients as well. Appreciate that. And yeah, you care about your clients. We care about ourselves. It's been a little bit of a battle. Like I told you I have like post trauma with giving information on YouTube, because YouTube is the land of free and DIY, and I get it. I'm appreciative of people who tell me the information, even though free information has helped them guide them in what they could do and give them some information. So I'm appreciative of that. But I know that it also can send out a knee-jerk reaction and kind of bust bubbles. But I'm gonna be real, tough love. I needed my bubble burst too if I didn't know, when I didn't know stuff and about me even meet my loctician. And I think I asked her, was she doing braids? Okay, we're talking about 2008. I don't know what she was doing. And I hadn't yet taken the training. And she was like, no, it's not braid. She wouldn't even let me see. She wouldn't let me look at myself unless I went to the bathroom on a break. And I used to be like, why she don't let me? Because I had issues with control, had issues with my hair, had issues with even after it was done, I had issues with myself. And it was like, this is a deeper discussion. I want to have, let me know if this makes sense. Y'all know I'm a licensed therapist. I always say it. Master's in undergrad. And I like we had events at Columbia University as well on Black hair. This is a conversation that a lot of people seem to want to have, but not the same old. I won't do the same old. We're not going to do the same old panel discussions, but like having people actually talk to someone on a pro level who's dealt with therapy clients, like about Black women and us accepting ourselves. And that's like, it permeates so much. And even with the panel with Sister Locks, and I had made my videos, and it seemed like clickbait, but I really was shocked at what was said. The energy that we have about us, about ourselves, about beauty, about our hair, about who we are, it just is so important. Like we cannot not have these conversations. And so I know this seems superficial, curly ends, but it's so much of more of a conversation that opens up from a lot of things. And I would love to be able to open up space for that so that we can heal together and move through being in better positions and just about ourselves, loving ourselves, interacting with each other. And maybe it's too deep. I don't know. I don't know. But as I wind it down, I think I got all your questions. Okay, all your comments. Thank you, Glorious Locks, for your comments, and thank you everyone else, Frida, and everyone who has liked this video. If you find any of my information and valuable now or any time in the past, how many years I've been on YouTube? A long time. I'm reviving this channel, and they love this. I love to see engagement. And if you're watching from the Facebook group or you want to join the Facebook group, I thank you for being in the Facebook group. I'll put the link. If you are watching on YouTube, join us in this Facebook group. We are about to announce a 3-day training that will be in the Facebook group only. We've done this before, if y'all remember, Keys to Microloc Mastery. It includes workbooks. And there's free opportunities, free training. So we have that. If you join the Facebook group, freemicroloctrain.com/join. And right now you can take a free webinar today if you would like to. And that is freemicroloctraining.com/webinar. And I would love to see you in the group. We are solidifying the day. Oh, also, those who are Microloc Masters in our community, we have our second group coaching call. So it's a class we take together. It supports our curriculum. The curriculum is online, and then you get our coaching. We walk you through for certification by October 16th. We're about to, I know it, I feel it in my spirit. We're about to just send a whole list of newly certified pros and methods, pros that are gonna be who you want to go to if you are a DIYer looking for a professional who cares about you and your hair, who's invested, who's actually made an investment. That's huge. To show that they've made an investment in education, and then they are, exemplifying this professional. So we want you to be able to connect with them. So I'll be doing that announcement, and those are the people I think, if you're looking for a pro, that you could start there. I'm not going to be throwing them. Although they could be braiders, we're not going to just be throwing braids or twisting your hair and saying this. We understand the structure of our technique from root to tip. And if y'all know my views on how I even started with the Microloc branding, it was adding on and it's strengthening what was existing with Sister Locks. It is now filling in the gaps, the needed gaps, so that your hair can be strong. So that is tonight at 7 p.m. Those who are in the community, check your emails. You'll get the reminders. And also, some people are asking about our next boot camp that's coming up. So October, we'll have all this information, all these events happening. Information will be posted shortly. So if you want to take this, a free webinar at the bottom, and then I'm gonna put again how you can get into the free Facebook group. So I believe at any point you should get information, whether it's free or you want to go further and make an investment and up level your skills dramatically. Okay. And members will be doing our pricing workshops and a meeting about the Microloc directory. We have a Microloc directory. I'll put that on the bottom as well. And there's a few people whose listings are about to be on there. We're going to put our comprehensive list of certified pros. Not everybody has a listing, but we have a lot of certified pros. And so if someone doesn't yet have their listing, I want you to be able to connect with them or see if there are people in your area. And there usually are. We are international. Okay. So it's more than just hair for you. Yes. And you said you'll go check the Facebook group. Perfect. And yes, I love it. Well, welcome, y'all. So nobody said anything about my end. So I'm not doing this again because y'all know I don't care about this. Doesn't look like anything to me. And I have ideas of what I would do temporary. But this, For what? For what? It just doesn't. Here's what my ends did. They did a cylinder with my own hair in the beginning. Um, but it's not doing anything for me. They look nice. Okay, thank you. But I think if my hair just looks nice, this doesn't do anything for it besides just kind of make it kind of snaggled at the end. Um, I do have ideas of I used to do the bended ends, so you would see that like layer. Those kind of things I like. Bye, y'all. Remember, love yourself. You can't change your DNA and get into the why of what you're doing. Does it match with actual process? All right, it gives a little texture. A little bit. I'm gonna cut my hair at some point. I'll do it. I'll do it on maybe I'll do it on live. I just like to cut the scraggles off. These are very tight ends too. With the yeah, I said I was gonna show you how to do it. Take a pipe cleaner, cut it in half. Then take the pipe cleaner. Take another pipe cleaner. So for those who didn't click off, y'all get a bonus. See, people be like, they like to leave, but I've been on live for a minute. Okay. Then you can either fold it all the way in half, or I don't even fold it in half. Maybe a little bit at the end. And then you take it and you find the end, and then you wrap it around. Just like a spiral. Wrap it around. And then fold it in. And then I was taking this other and I was like wrapping it around. You could make a loop and loop it through, but I found that this held it better. And then I did a whole bunch of these all over my head. And then right before, like 10 minutes before I went live, I was like, oh, can I take these out? I just unwrapped it, unbent the end, and you could either slide it off or you could unravel it. And it comes together like that. And then I just separated it out. And then I tried to make it only the end. So then I was like pulling it down to try to make my hair straight here. And then I put it into the bonnet. But I think I would prefer a bigger curl because I like to do, if y'all it doesn't stay, but like a 70s kind of swoop, because I have these layers and I like the bigger curls at the end. And then the bent ends. I prefer that. And that'll give you length. This kind of shrunk my hair up, made it shorter, and then it kind of makes it in the back. I don't know what it looks like. Let me take this comment. I can't take that off. I'll remove my name. Lord, I got too much going on this screen. Let me take off some of this stuff. Whatever. Oh. I'm gonna cut it though. If y'all want to see me cut it, I like to cut it even because I feel like that gives me more volume. Because when it's scraggly like this, when it's cut more blunt, I feel like it makes it more full, and that's what I desired. I'm achieving things that I couldn't just do with my own hair loose. So there are some things that we can do, but let's work with the locks as opposed to work with making a weaker structure. You do like a good pipe cleaner, but I do all my hair. Ain't nobody got the ends, and took me forever to do the ends. I know, girl. Let me go. I say bye, and then I'm like, okay, bye. Okay, bye. Bye, y'all. Please like, share, comment if y'all want to show love, because my energy is return to sender. My energy reciprocates. I'm a big mirror. So you'll be eternally blessed. I'm not saying that. Don't take that small what I say. If you like it, like it. If you don't, it's okay. Bye. Okay, I'm going. Bye.